What's up, guys? I'm back, and this is going to be part 4 of listening to every single radio within COD Zombies in-game, and this is going to be Black Ops 3 Zombies. Now, before we get started, there's a couple things I'm going to go over with you guys real fast. This video kind of took a long time because my new PC broke on me. Don't worry, I got it fixed. That's why the video's coming out. But I also, at the same time, didn't know that I was going to be getting a cat. Well, I didn't plan on it. So I got a new kitty. And it's kind of been a handful trying to work on both this video and then a new kitten, trying to get her to use the cat box and all that. Anyway, point is, I've been a little bit busy. This video took a long time. So here it is now. This video is going to be very, very long, or at least I think it's going to be very long, considering that Gorod, Krovi, and Revelations each have a total of like 50 radios off the top of my head, and so it's gonna be nuts. Without further ado, we're just gonna get right into it. Shadows of Evil is gonna have 12 telephone messages hidden around the map that you can find and activate, but for some of them, you need to do the rituals and you need to use the tram. So I'm just gonna cover all of them as if you've done that first. And speaking of which, specifically what you need to do is open up Pack-a-Punch, and then for the tram, you just need to take it in a full circle around the map. So just for example, say that the tram was in the Canals district, you need to take it from Canals to Waterfront, and then from Waterfront to Footlight, Footlight back to Canals. That's just an example. You could do it in any order, but you get the idea. If you don't know how to do the rituals and activate Pack-a-Punch, I do have a guide on my channel that I will leave linked down in the description. So without wasting any more time, we're just going to get into it. And this first radio or telephone message is going to be found inside spawn, or not in spawn, but the junction outside of spawn. It'll be at this telephone booth right here.
As you can see, these documents give some indication as to the considerable amounts of money we are talking about.
My client would never have signed the authorization on these loans.
Nonetheless, there it is, in black and white, signed by the Mrs. herself.
Nero's family estate is not what it once was. Even if these documents are genuine, we'll need some time to get our affairs in order.
I would advise your client that our company intends to aggressively pursue settlement within 1 week. 15 days at the most.
Look, I need to make a call. My secretary will see you out.
Throughout the entire video, all of these radio messages are not going to be played in any specific order, but this next telephone message is going to be found inside of Nero's apartment directly underneath the stairs on this pillar right here.
Nero, I have the most wonderful news. The loan documents were fraudulent. Well, your wife was fraudulent. She forged your signature on the loan agreements, and we can prove it. The date on the forms says November 5th last year. Exactly the same time that you were in the hospital following your performance of the amphibious man. You couldn't possibly have signed those papers. You were in a coma for the entire month.
Heading into the Waterfront district, if you make your way up to where you can place down the egg for the Apothecan's sword, the next telephone message is going to be on this pillar next to the zombie barrier.
Putting aside your enormous self-interests as a promoter, what would you like to say to boxing fans everywhere about the upcoming fight? Particularly with regard to this last-minute substitution. Floyd Campbell?
I'd like to say that Floyd Campbell is a credible opponent, despite how the bookies may see it.
What about the fact that fans would much rather see the #1 contender facing off with the champion, your champion, as opposed to this little herd of journeyman fighter?
Look, there's no doubt that Floyd Campbell is the underdog. Nevertheless,
Are you using Campbell to keep your big moneymaker away from opponents who could be just a little too dangerous?
the champ doesn't avoid anyone.
But
But nothing. This interview is over. No further questions.
Make your way down into the boxing ring, and the next telephone message is going to be up inside the office, or like the commentators area on the desk.
Hey, Floyd, you did good. You kept your word, delivered the knockout. I just wanted to tell you not to worry about any fucking journalists or commission investigations. That shit is done. Anyways, besides setting your mind at rest, I wanted to give you the good news. It's all set. You got it, Floyd. You got your title shot. January 15th.
Still inside of the waterfront area, if you come up to where the tram can be, if you look at the entrance and turn around, there's a telephone booth with a phone. Interact with this one.
Hey, Mr. Rapp, just checking in. So, I'm here. Finally. Taking in the sights, sounds, and smells of Morgue City. I know you sent me here to write a piece about the city's bustling nightlife and theater scene, and the characters that inhabit it, but things are getting kind of strange. Even though no one seems to want to talk about it, something is definitely off about this city. Just last week, there was a media shower. A freaking media shower. And everybody acted like it was no big thing. Then, the mold showed up. All over the city. In the dark, damp alleys, there's a strange kind of fungus growing. It looks weird and smells even weirder, but nobody really says anything. Then people started getting sick. At first it just made them delirious, confused. Then they really got sick. It was like they were wasting away. People finally started talking about it. I spoke to one guy in his 80s, a fruit seller, at the local market. He said something similar happened in New England in 1882. When I tried to press him on it, he just lowered his head and ignored me. If you ask me, something definitely ain't right here.
Making your way over to the Footlight District, if you come out onto the main street and make your way up onto the elevated area, there's going to be a phone booth in front of the buildable bench, and this one you just interact with again.
As you know, I'm looking to cast the female lead in my new picture. And I heard that you have quite the roster of up-and-coming talent in this town.
Can you maybe tell me a little more about what kind of woman you're looking for?
I'm looking for an all-American girl, a real beauty. I heard you may know an aspiring actress by the name of Jessica Rose.
The burlesque dancer? She ain't exactly peaches and cream. More sugar and spice.
I heard she's a real firecracker, if you know what I mean. I'd like to meet her. Give her a screen test.
Leave it with me. I'll get back to you.
The next one, once again, inside of the tram station in the Footlight District, there's going to be 2 telephone booths right here. It's going to be the one on the left side.
Hey, Mr. Rapp. So, I went by the market again today. For some reason, the fruit seller was much more talkative. Even if what he said was more than a little crazy. He told me that when he was a boy, his uncle would get drunk and start talking about how a dark force cast its shadow over the city. How good and evil were battling right on our doorstep. And that the only thing holding back the forces of the apocalypse was the ancient order of the Keepers. Well, even if what he said was more than a little crazy, I'm not sure he was. Even though they're scared, or maybe because they are, people are talking more. Asking around, I've heard more than a few whispers about this ancient order and the Keepers. I think it's some kind of cult. They say you can hear them chanting sometimes, from beneath the city. There's all these rumors about human sacrifices and freaky shit that even the police won't investigate. Because they've been paid off, or because they're too damn scared. I'm not sure what to believe anymore.
The final telephone message inside of the Footlight District is going to be inside the burlesque on the left side. It'll be sitting on the bar top, just kind of tucked away in the corner.
Hey, Jessica. A movie director came by to talk to me today, said he wanted to meet you. I gotta be honest, I didn't get a good feeling from him. I told him where to go. Well, not in so many words. Listen, I'm glad you didn't sign that studio contract. Truth is, I'm not even much of a producer. I'm more of a talent wrangler. Here's the thing. My partner's written a musical that just got financing. I know that you're going to be perfect for the lead. This time next year, you're going to be on Broadway, baby!
Making your way over to the Canals District, if you go up to the tram station again, there's going to be another telephone sitting in front of the entrance to the tram.
Hey, Mr. Rapp. So I tracked down all the people you asked me to look into. I sent you a telegram with all their details, all their contact numbers. But I gotta be honest, I'm getting nervous. These last 6 months you've had me working like a low-rent private dick. When really, I just want to be a reporter. It's not that I'm ungrateful. I know the checks you've given me have been more than generous for services rendered. It's just all this stuff you've had me do. Tracking down ancient artifacts in the South Pacific, finding all these strange metals and rocks in Russia. And still, I haven't even met you face to face. I'm sorry, Mr. Rapt. I think maybe the mood in the city is getting to me a little. Making me nervous. Antsy. Anyway, I'm looking forward to you finally getting here.
Inside of the Ruby Rabbit on the first floor, if you look at the bar top, there's going to be another telephone sitting on the corner.
Hey, Jackie, it's me. Some suit from Internal Affairs came by today, asking a whole bunch of questions. I didn't say shit, because I don't know shit. As far as I can tell, you're in the clear. I trust you, Jackie. You're my best friend. You're like a brother. Just wanted you to know that I got you back. Always.
For the last telephone message within the canals, if you come up to the elevated area where the perk machine can be, it's going to be sitting on top of this table in the corner.
Please understand that you yourself are not under any suspicion at this time. This is merely an informal interview.
Yeah, I know. Can we just cut to the chase?
The chase? Excellent metaphor. Or is it an allegory? I can never remember the difference.
You want to know about my partner, Jack Vincent?
You're a good detective.
So what do you want to know? That he's a loudmouth, show-off, more than a little rough around the edges? That he's a drinker, smoker? How about the fact that he's got a wife that scares him more than any fucking criminal out there? What do you want me to tell you?
Is Jack Vincent on the take?
Listen, the more I talk to you, the more I'll get a reputation around the precinct. Can we maybe do this elsewhere?
For the absolute final message within Shadows of Evil, if you make your way down to Pack-a-Punch and inside the subway station on the left side before entering Pack-a-Punch, if you come to the very back of this tram car and look through the window, you'll see a portal. Just interact with the portal to hear Maxis start speaking.
To any survivors of this realm, I am truly sorry. I wish I could offer you some words of comfort, but I cannot. It is my hope that I can rid the universe of the evil that has plagued us for so long. But in my heart, I know many more dimensions will be lost forever as we continue our journey towards peace. Forgive me.
Moving on over to the Giant, there's going to be 11 radios, but 3 of them are going to be slightly different because if you're playing as Richtofen and you go interact with 3 of them, 3 specific ones, it's going to play a message from Maxis. But if you're playing as any other character other than Richtofen, 3 of them are going to play a different message, not from Maxis. So I will cover those when I get to them, and I'll just have to, you'll see a couple repeats, but they're not actually repeats. The first radio is going to be found directly in spawn if you're looking at Pack-a-Punch on the left side at the base of the little platform. It's going to be found right here in between these bars.
Whoever you are, wherever you are, I have one message. One message that must be remembered at all costs. The child must be protected.
If you make your way into the teleporter B room and then you make a direct left turn inside of this barrel, there's going to be another radio right here. This one is going to be one of the ones that's different depending on the character that you're playing as. For Richtofen, this is what's going to be played.
Look around you, Edvard. The giant sleeps. This facility was once alive with activity. Now, it is a graveyard. Group 935 are no more. What remains of their work has been scattered to the 4 winds. Only echoes and shadows remain. The test subjects can never be allowed to awaken. The havoc that could be wreaked upon the future by such simple-minded individuals could be catastrophic. Heed my warning.
For Nikolai, Takeo, or Dempsey, that same radio is going to play this message.
It is not all bad news, Nikolai. We may have failed in our mission, but at least there is now one less Richtofen to deal with. If it is any consolation, tell him that the first one is the hardest. I should know. I've killed at least 3 Richtofens. There was the one in the fire, the one with the bolt hook, and the one... What? No one told me. Sorry. Forget what I just said. Everything will be fine.
If you make your way across the sky bridge coming from where Double Tap is, directly on the other side of it, and you lay down right here, inside of the filing cabinet is going to be another radio.
In these dark days, I find myself clinging to the belief that there may still be a way to set things right. Though my understanding of the ethereal realm remains limited, I am convinced that the manipulation of the energy fields within all matter is vital to uncovering the dimensional gateway itself. It is my sincerest hope that somewhere in the realm beyond, my beloved Samantha still lives. I can only pray that Edvard will have the courage to fulfill the vow he made all those years ago.
If you're coming from spawn and you're making your way into Teleporter A, just before actually entering the room where Teleporter A is, inside of this filing cabinet right next to the wall, there's going to be another radio here.
She may have been returned to me, but I fear she is not as she was. In recent months, she has barely said a word. When she did, it was only to cry out for him, to call his name. What have I done?
If you go into the Teleporter A room and you go to the stairs on the left side and you go directly underneath them, there's going to be another radio sitting on top of these boxes, and this is also going to be one of those ones where it's different depending on the character you're playing as. For Richtofen, this is the message that is played.
I thank you for your sacrifice, Edvard. Your courageous actions have opened new avenues of opportunity. It is my dearest hope that we may one day set things right and prevent these terrible events from ever unfolding.
Once again, for that exact same radio for Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takeo, this is the message that is going to be heard.
Hey, other me. If you're hearing this, then it means that something's gone foobar. We're going to plan B. Stick to that crap bastard like glue. We need to find out what the hell he has been doing and what he's going to do. We may be able to get a fix on your location if you can trigger one of the paradox visualizations. Good luck. We're all counting on you. Oh, wait. Whatever you do, don't get too close to the radioactive beacon. Make your hair fall out.
For this next radio, if you make your way over to Teleporter C and then you come up the catwalk but go outside, it's going to be sitting in the corner next to the zombie spawn.
Though our matter transference tests at the new site have been largely unsuccessful, the teleporter's malfunction has nonetheless yielded some interesting data. The fact that the test subjects departed their original point of origin is undeniable. What is uncertain is what became of them. Richtofen is insistent in his belief that they have been transported not through space, but through time. In the absence of empirical evidence, I myself cannot entertain such madness. I fear, Richtofen, irrationality may soon prove a liability to our endeavors.
For the next one, if you make your way over into this room where the perk machine is located, if you look in the corner on the floor where the giant hole in the floor is, there's going to be another radio sitting there, and this is going to be right before entering to Teleporter C. It's going to be that room next to the Bowie knife. For Richtofen, this is the message that is going to end up being played.
Remember what I told you, Edvard. The scars left by Samantha's past actions allow us to communicate across the rift. Follow my words. I will find you. When you release the beacon, I will secure your extraction and destroy the site. Remember, the burden is yours to carry, Edvard. The others must never know the truth.
For Nikolai, Takeo, and Dempsey, this is the message that is going to end up being played.
Takeo, brave upholder of the dying samurai spirit. It feels almost as though I am speaking to my ancestors. Instead, I speak to a reflection of myself. The man in the mirror, in another place, another time. Our allies are filled with confidence and bravado. But I am troubled. My dreams are haunted by a man in shadow.
The last radio within the giant is going to be found directly beneath teleporter B, and it's going to be inside the furnace room on the left side of the open furnace.
Day 66. The children are gone, and the house feels empty. I miss their laughter, their games. The sirens have not sounded for several months. I do believe that we may have turned the tide of the battle. But at what cost? The radiation levels from the fallout remain dangerously high. I can only pray I live long enough to confirm that my plan was indeed successful. And the dark presence that has haunted our dreams and infected every facet of our existence has finally been vanquished.
Now we're on to Eisendrache, and this one is only going to have 5 audio reels. You can find the first one down inside of the teleporter room in the main map. It'll be directly in front of it, sitting on this table.
Despite the fact that all testing of the MPD has been put on hold, we have nonetheless observed a series of unprecedented and, dare I say it, erratic behaviors exhibited by the pyramid. Comms interference and power outages have become commonplace, leaving many fearful for their own safety. The perimeter guards in the exclusion zone have reported hearing voices emanating from the MPD. Though external recordings do not corroborate their testimony, several individuals reported hearing the same exact words. I must go.
I know my future. You barely feature.
While most accounts claim that the words were spoken by an unidentified individual, several seem to believe that the quotation came from Dr. Maxis. That, I know, is not possible. Such is the increasing atmosphere of paranoia that we have taken to ensuring the placement of survival suits throughout the facility, just in case essential life support systems should fail.
Make your way over to Samantha's room, and there's going to be a couple other rooms nearby. One of them is specifically going to be Maxis's room, and that radio will be sitting on the floor right here.
Our allies in Division 9 have made great strides with their own research and development. Though I must confess to having had my own doubts regarding the feasibility of their more ambitious weapons designs. Successful field trials suggest that we may be able to deploy the specimen as early as this winter. Assuming progress remains on track, we may finally be able to break the stalemate on the Eastern Front.
From there, if you make your way over to where Power is, and there's going to be a long hallway directly in front of Power. If you just go to the opposite side and through this zombie spawn, you'll see the next radio sitting on top of the table in the middle.
Group 935 has defied all those who doubted our cause. Since the discovery of element 115, we have achieved so much. Our weapons program alone has advanced beyond even our wildest expectations. Furthermore, the fact that we have been able to establish a permanent base of operations on the moon itself leaves me filled with optimism for the future. We can literally do anything.
The next radio can be found inside the guard tower where the Simon Says computer is. It's just going to be sitting on top of this desk.
I have a very good memory. At least, that is what Richtofen has said on more than one occasion. Myself, I am not so sure. Recent events have led me to conclude that exposure to the MPD may in fact be corrupting and clouding our cognitive processes. Speaking to my own personal experiences, I am reminded that I had a dream about Maxis' daughter, Samantha. The child may have been a frequent visitor to Eagle's Nest, but the idea that she could be here on Griffin Station, the moon, defies explanation. It is essential that we re-establish contact with Eagle's Nest in order to fully understand our current predicament.
The final radio is going to be located inside of the main church. If you come from outside and you go to the right side, it's going to be sitting on top of this desk right here.
Given that it is now over 2 weeks since contact was lost with Dr. Richtofen, along with the fact that all intel would appear to suggest that the Krovi's facility itself may have fallen to the enemy. I am forced to take drastic action. As of now, and for the foreseeable future, I have decided to assume full operational command of Group 935. All further tests involving the MPD are on hold until such times as we can guarantee the safety and security of all personnel currently based at Griffin Station. And so it pains me to say, we have to assume that Operation Shield is unlikely to succeed as originally planned.
Zetsubou no Shima is next, and this one also only has 5 radios. Yay, lucky for us, because the next 2 after this fucking suck. Before I show you where these are located, for this map specifically, if you want to access some of them, you're going to need to turn on power. So if you don't know how to do that, I do have a guide listed down in the description on my channel. The first radio you can find in Zetsubou no Shima is going to be found at the top of Lab B. If you just come up these stairs and make a hard right as soon as you get to the top, it's going to be kind of sitting near this this light right here. I forget exactly what kind of light it is.
Man,
I think it was I don't remember.
Floodlight. It's a floodlight. That was loud. Sorry, but yeah, it's a floodlight.
The siren has not sounded in many months. I am confused by the changing world around me. I look at my hands, and they are not the hands I remember. The wrinkles, veins, and liver spots that textured my skin have disappeared, as though time itself was unraveling against its natural order. Is this the end, or a new beginning?
The second radio you can find is going to be down inside of the main bunker where you can find power. If you go through the door directly at the back and make your way all the way down to where you can build the KT-4, inside of that room on the right side, sitting on this shelf, is going to be that second radio.
Reality itself is shifting. I find myself reflecting on memories I am no longer sure are my own. Beyond the window, I saw a wasteland stretching as far as the eye could see. I saw a scourge visited upon the earth. I saw the children withered before my eyes. That was before he came. Samantha has been returned to me once more. As have you, Edvard. As have you.
The third radio can be found inside of Lab A. If you come over to the crafting bench over here, on top of this chair is going to be that third radio.
He explained everything to me. He will explain everything to you. Though his very presence defied logic, defied reason, he told me that he would help. I could not refuse.
Going back inside of that main central bunker on the right side, going into the room where all the spider cocoons are, come over to the purple water, and sitting on this bunk bed is going to be the fourth radio.
After so long in isolation, we had begun to believe that we were the only survivors of the catastrophic event that had shaped our lives. Supplies were beginning to run low, and I was forced to prepare for the worst outcome. Just as I feared that we were truly alone, just as I feared that the end was near, there was a knock at the door.
The fifth and final radio is also going to be down in that central bunker. If you come over to where the main power switch is and you go outside, it's going to be sitting inside of this crate.
You swore a promise to me, Edvard. It may have been a long time ago, but I am sure you will not have forgotten. You swore to follow my instructions, to comply with my every order. You swore to enact whatever plan I conveyed to you, all in the hope that we could overcome the chaos that we ourselves have created. You have kept your word. However much it pains my heart, I owe it to you to confess. I'm sorry, Edvard. I have withheld certain truths from you.
All right, now we're moving on over to Gorod Krovi, but this one is going to be laid out slightly different because there's a lot more than just radios within Gorod Krovi, and I kind of have to explain it because in my last video I mentioned for Black Ops 2 that when you're doing Easter eggs, the characters within the Easter egg kind of talking to you like Maxis and Richtofen for BO2, those don't count as radios, and I still stand by that, they don't. But in this game, for Gorod Krovi and Revelations, as you're doing steps in the Easter egg, he talks to you, but there's other things outside of the main Easter egg. And by he, I mean Dr. Monty. There's other things outside of the main Easter egg that are step specific that you have to do in order to get audio quotes to play. So I am going to be covering those in this video because it's like you actually have to do something in order to get it to play other than just doing the main Easter egg. So those are going to be here. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm running through the main Easter egg too just to show you every single quote that Dr. Monty says. If it's not related to storyline, it's not going to be here. If it actually gives you a decent backstory into A, Dr. Monty, B, the Shadow Man, or C, the characters, or even D, the entire story of zombies, then it will be here. It will be covered. So with that, we're just going to start in on Gorod Krovi. Starting out with the actual radios, the first one can be found inside of Dragon Command. If you come inside the room upstairs where the Wonder Fizz is, it'll be sitting on top of this box.
Directive log 240.2. The German Dragon units have proven devastating to the Russian ground forces. The enemy have nonetheless found a weakness to exploit. A prototype weapon known as the Assalon Lance uses 115 charged rounds to weaken and penetrate their hide. The Russians have been quick to retrofit this new weapon onto their surviving mech units.
Coming down into the command bunker, if you look at the shield crafting bench and you go to the right side, it's going to be sitting on this shelf right here.
Directive log 203.1. Now that the 115 contamination of the Red Army is complete, the Valkyrie drones have been programmed to probe the ruins of the city. They will find any resistance trains and attempt capture. As directed by Dr. Krovi, I have updated Valkyrie 7 and 8 to penetrate enemy lines in an effort to secure any survivors for study. Regrettably, however, contact with Valkyrie 8 was lost after it engaged one of the targets.
The third one you can find inside of the supply depot. If you come up to the upstairs area where the bookshelves are, it can be found on top of this bookshelf.
Directive log 223.1. Though it appears to be a slightly inferior copy of the German Riese model, the Russian Gigant robot has proven to be a formidable unit. Unlike the Riese, the Gigant is armed with a high-energy beam weapon fired from the cranial dome. Like the Riese, its highly durable construction means it can withstand most conventional attacks. However, the robot was never designed to withstand dragon attacks, leaving it extremely vulnerable to their fire.
The next audio reel or radio can be found inside of Pack-a-Punch, and if you don't know how to get to Pack-a-Punch, once again, I do have a guide listed down in the description, and it's from my channel, so go check it out if you don't know how to. Once you get to Pack-a-Punch, if you come directly across from Pack-a-Punch behind the stairs, it's going to be sitting right here.
Directive log 203.2. Specimen 33 is no longer responding to recall frequencies with 100% consistency. It is essential that this behavior is corrected before Dr. Krovi's inspection of our forward hatchery next week. I have made several frequency adjustments that I believe may correct the undesired behaviors. Commencing test. Imprinting frequency modifications. All personnel, evacuate the area.
Finally, make your way into the tank station, and if you come all the way downstairs into the big open area outside the map, you'll find it right here. Just shoot it to activate it.
Directive log 272.5. Intelligence confirms that Project Rasputin has yielded the creation of a new enemy type we have not seen before. Dubbed the Russian Mangla soldier, these units are equipped with high-caliber armament that has proven highly effective against our ground units. Their Their shockwave attack disrupts movement across a large area, even when our troops are hiding in cover. Additionally, their strong armor plating has proven highly durable to conventional attacks. However, these enhanced combat abilities come at a cost. Their relatively slow speed leaves them vulnerable to being outmaneuvered by the enemy, particularly when significantly outnumbered. Additional vulnerability comes from the unit's cannon, which is prone to explode when fire is focused upon its power regulator.
Now we're going to move over to the Dr. Monty Wisps that you can find in the map. Saying Wisps is hard sometimes, so I do apologize. I don't know why when talking fast. Anyway, point is, a couple of these will just play randomly in the map. The other ones you actually have to go find, but you can't find them until the ones that play randomly in the map happen first. But don't worry, they play at set times, so let's just get into it. For the first two, they are going to play at the start of round 15 and at the start of round 16. So all you have to do is just play all the way up until you get to 15 and then go another round, and at the start of 16 the next one's gonna play. So here are both of those right now.
I have been watching. I have seen each and every one of your misdeeds. I know who you are. Sounds ominous, doesn't it? Good, because it fucking is. The entirety of the universe is fractured and broken. Something that you clowns hold more than at least some degree of responsibility for. Guess what? You're gonna fix it. Look, just do what you usually do. Listen out for radios and things, and I'll help wherever I can.
I probably also should have mentioned that these Wisps have to be activated in the specific order that I'm showing you. Otherwise, they're not going to be spawned in. And like I already said, those other two have to play first before they start spawning in. So for the third Wisp, it's going to be inside of the tank factory. If you look outside the map, it's going to be pretty hard to see. Look inside of this burning tank in the air and you'll see it right here. Again, it's hard to see, but you just have to shoot inside the manhole and you'll hit it.
Hello? Testing. Do you hear me? Testing. Actually, I don't know why I'm doing all this. I'm almost 100% certain that you can hear me. So let's not fanny about. Okay, where best to start? The universe is big. Really big. So try to imagine the biggest thing that you can, and then imagine you're way off. It's 1,000,000,000 billion trillion zillion times bigger than that. Actually, don't worry about the size. It's fucking huge. We'll just leave it at that. More important than its humongous proportions is the fact that the universe is a living, breathing thing, ever-changing, ever-shifting, existing across and beyond time and space itself. With me so far?
The fourth Wisp is going to be inside of spawn. If you're looking at quick revive directly on the left side inside of this wheelbarrow, you can barely see it from right here. Just go ahead and shoot it and then it'll play.
All right. So you've got this universe, this big, changey, already volatile universe, and then you shatter it with a hammer, a metaphorical hammer, and it cracks and splinters into 1,000,000 other universes, all coexisting at exactly the same time. Do you have any idea how difficult that is to keep track of? I may be omnipotent, but I can't be everywhere.
The fifth Wisp is going to be over in the supply depot. Come up to where the dragon lands, and if you jump and look over these sandbags, you'll be able to see it. So just jump and shoot at the same time, and you'll hit it.
Now, if it had been entirely up to me, you numbskulls would be the last people I would entrust with this, but due to factors outside my control, you're all I've got. I know there's a lot going on. I know it's a lot to take in. But the universe is deeply unstable right now. And things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. Crazy as things are, I will try my absolute best to give you all some one-on-one time. Some good old-fashioned TLC. Do this right, and everything will be okay. Pinky promise.
Wisp number 6 is going to be located inside of Pack-a-Punch, and if you come directly underneath to the basement level, like the very, very bottom, and you come over here, you'll see a hole in the floor. If you just look through it, you can just shoot it from right there.
Max's. He was the first. The vessel you constructed for him back in World War I somehow shielded him from the influence of Element 115. He opened the portal between the worlds and, well, that's where, when shit really went tits up. The world within the world got turned upside down and inside out, if you can imagine such a thing. So, anyway, it was around then that I was forced to step in.
The 7th Wisp is going to be located at the bottom floor of the department store. If you come over to this zombie barrier right here, you'll see a bunch of carpet in the corner. It's going to be kind of in between the carpet. Just look around and shimmy, and you'll see it eventually.
Samantha. Oh, boy. You ever heard the phrase, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned? Well, that fury is even worse with a little girl, especially one as confused as that poor child is. She really didn't get much of a chance, did she? Right out of the gate, she was thrown into this madness before she could ever figure out exactly who she was. Still, that's all ancient history now. She's safe in the house.
The 8th Wisp is going to be on the drawbridge that connects both the infirmary and the armory together. Just open it up, and then if you look over one of the sides, you'll see it kind of inside of this folded over piece right here.
Okay. Here's a quick cheat sheet. You all fought in World War I. Whoopee! You were badass heroes. That was true. That happened. Later, some other versions of you ended up as lab rats in some crazy World War II experiments. Experiments that left you a bit, kind of, not that smart. Your memories were mostly erased, and you just kind of bumbled and stumbled around in time and space, oblivious to your past and future actions.
The 9th Wisp is also going to be inside of the department store. It'll be at the top floor. If you kind of look at this mannequin in front of one of the valves needed for the Easter egg, it's going to be in the skirt, like hidden inside the skirt.
You know how people say that every snowflake is unique? That every single one is an individual, a one-of-a-kind, irrefutable evidence of the miracles of Mother Nature? Well, it's not true. Snowflakes aren't all that unique. There are really only about 12 different designs. The point I'm making is that you lot are hardly one-of-a-kind snowflakes. You were fragmented across a multitude of different realities, but each and every one is basically the same. You are all you. The liar, the braggart, the drunk. The one who didn't know what he had until it was gone. The good soldier. Never disobeyed orders, never broke protocol, still kicked ass all the same. The loyal servant. A warrior out of time, born too late or born too early. Honor-bound to dying traditions. The man-child, broken and twisted by a life burdened with knowledge. Living like a soul who is perpetually drowning.
Wisp number 10 is going to be located in Dragon Command. If you make your way over to where the dragon lands and kind of stand in the middle of the stairs leading up to it, you'll be able to look through the hole in the ceiling onto the roof, and it'll be kind of up there on the rubble.
You need to stop thinking in terms of originals. Old and new. It's not like that. When you look in the mirror, it's still you. If you crack that mirror, you see multiple reflections. It doesn't mean you've actually multiplied, does it? Honestly, I'm not sure why I'm trying to explain it. Shit's fucked up. Please, fix it.
Wisp number 11 is going to be inside of Pack-a-Punch again, but for this one, as soon as you take the dragon and it flings you off down, if you kind of look back into the hole that you came down from, I recommend using a grenade to throw it up onto the very, very top level that you can without it going all the way outside, or if you use a ray gun Mark III or a ray gun to shoot at the ceiling in that part of the map, you'll be able to hit it from there.
You see, the thing is, I'm meant to stay on the sidelines, not really supposed to get involved. Free will and all that stuff. Oh, that was my idea, by the way. However, I do see stuff now and then that makes me go, ooh, that's not good. I really should do something. But the thing is, all I can really do is give things a little nudge. Sow a seed, plant an idea, see what grows, see what sticks.
The 12th Wisp is going to be located inside of this sewer pipe that's located in between tank station and the infirmary, kind of in the water right here. If you lay down, you can see it and shoot it like at an angle because you can't lay in the water, or you can throw a grenade through there or shoot it with the ray gun and you'll be able to hit it.
Where do you think all these magic weapon boxes come from? The chalk drawings on the wall, the magic ammo drops, the gumball machines? Do I need to go on, or do you get the message? I just hope you appreciate it.
Now for the 13th and final Wisp within Gorod Krovi, if you complete the Easter egg, that's the only way you can hear this one. So I went ahead and I did the full Easter egg to get this to play just for you guys, just for the video. And I shit you not, as soon as the Easter egg finished and I loaded back into the map, all audio cut out for the first half of the message. So I was not about to go do that Easter egg again. I'm just gonna paste the audio, the real audio, over top of the gameplay so that way you guys can hear it. I'm not doing the Easter egg again, sorry. Oh, and I almost forgot, Richtofen cannot hear this Wisp. Only this Wisp though. And if you're gonna do the Easter egg in solo, you have to make sure you're playing as any one of the other 3 characters. It cannot be Richtofen.
Okay, Nikolai, Dempsey, Takeo. I'm only talking to you right now. Richtofen, he can't hear me, so he's probably off doing his own thing right now anyway. No change there, I suppose. The good news is, you're nearly done. It'll soon be time to come to the house. But this plan, this big plan, a lot of it's been riding on Richtofen. Before he caught up with you guys, he spent years traveling, searching out just the right versions of you, the ones who held the key to closing off the other dimensions. I think you know by now exactly what that entails. Point is, he's kind of surplus to requirements these days. He's been in the house for ages, but don't tell him. Anyway, it all makes sense when you get here, you'll see. Honestly, it's going to be fine. Oh, shit. I completely forgot to introduce myself. Oh, sorry. I'm Dr. Monty. Hello. So nice to see you all.
We're not done with Gorod Krovi yet because there are character-specific quotes that Dr. Monty will say when each character goes down a total of 3 times. And each character going down even 1 time will make a quote play. So 3 downs for 3 quotes, and this was also controversial for me to actually even put into the video because they're not really radios, and I'm only including these here because A, they're funny, and B, there is like a dedicated way to get them to play, and they are character specific. They do kind of give some insight into the story a little bit, but without further ado, here they are.
At least these machines aren't covered in cobwebs. Probably chewed more spider than gum on that island.
Bring it! All right, Tank. I'm going to need you to trust me, okay? You've done really, really well so far, but I honestly think it's going to be easier if I just talk you through some things. Now, let's be honest. You don't really know who you are, do you? You've been bouncing around time and space for years, yelling all sorts of obscenities. And by the way, your language is fucking disgraceful sometimes. You should wash your mouth out with soap. Anyway, we'll talk again soon and I'll explain everything. Just give a little time to double-check my flowcharts. Right, where were we, Tank? Actually, more to the point, where are you? Are you up to speed? Do you know exactly what you're doing? Or is the 115 delusion so bad you're still calling in field reports, even though no one is listening? Sorry, that's unfair. I was listening. I heard every word you said. Ah, you're a good soldier. You always were.
Is it just me, or are they getting more aggressive?
So, Richtofen. I'm kind of surprised that you've gone along with him this far. Didn't you absolutely despise him at one point? Anyway, keep a close eye on him. I think he's up to something.
Even with my vast experience, mistakes can still happen from time to time.
I have to admit something to you, Edward. Something I've never, ever had to admit to anyone before. It's really quite embarrassing. You ready? Well, here it is. I don't understand you, matey. I don't understand a single thing about what makes you tick. You are the closest thing to an absolute distillation of obtuse obstructionism and unparalleled maniacal chaos in human form as it is possible to imagine.
That's a little too close!
Look, I know you've had a lot to deal with. I know how hard you've been trying, but I really can't be sure exactly why you're doing it. I mean, it's not as if you owe Maxis anything. Is it?
Now you will feel my wrath. As soon as I manage to get back on my feet.
I don't know. Maybe some of the paranoia is starting to rub off on me. But let me tell you this, my little German friend. I've got my eye on you. Nikolai Belensky. This can't be easy for you, knowing what happened in Stalingrad. You'll be hard-pushed to find any historian who wouldn't list this in the top 10 all-time most horrible events in human history, even without the dragons.
Big mistake. You leave me no choice but to retaliate.
You may not have lived it, Nikolai, but you never forgot. No matter how hard you tried. You just didn't talk about it. I don't get that about you people sometimes. Your whole sense of reality is built only upon the things that are talked about. If it isn't said, it didn't happen.
Bravery does not become you, hell pig.
There are certain things that you can't ever change, Nikolai. All I ask is that you do the right thing. The right thing for everyone.
Cooling my anger.
Takeo Masaki. Wow. Those wounds are fresh, aren't they? The bitter sting of betrayal. The absolute collapse of the singular belief that has been the driving force in your life for as long as you can remember. What now, Takeo? What do you do when the metaphorical rug has been pulled out from under your feet?
Will be bled.
I'll tell you what you do, Takeo. You do what you've always done. You fight. Only difference is that you do it for yourself, not for some misplaced sense of duty or honor.
Enlightenment.
So, besides the changes to your own outlook, have you noticed a change in Richtofen? Dempsey? Well, not trying to stir things up, but does it seem to you like the two of them may be scheming between themselves?
Moving into Revelations, this is going to be the worst one by far because, I mean, literally, there's like 30 different radios and wisps and just everything in this map. So it's going to be a pretty long one. And getting started, there's going to be 13 radios, and the first one can be found inside of Origins. As soon as you leave the jump pad, if you go to the right side on this shelf right here, you'll be able to find it.
Where are they? They should have arrived by now.
Oh, Maxis, you worry too much. In fact, aside from worrying, what do you do these days? As far as I can tell, you just repeat whatever I say in radio messages. No offense, of course. It's important to feel relevant. Big fan of what you do.
Look, they're here.
Well, well, well. Sometimes free will does work out. Look at how he's used it. Trying to right wrongs instead of skulking about in the house talking into a microphone.
Put the toys away, children. Make sure the windows are locked before you come down to the basement.
Good call on the windows there, Max. This whole process can get a bit messy.
The second radio can be found inside of Shangri-La. If you come from spawn, directly after leaving the landing pad, go to the right side and you'll find it outside the map right here in the corner.
I started going through his research, and good fucking lord, this is a confusing mess. So much shit about time travel, different dimensions. Honestly, I'm not even sure what he's getting into. You can make this stuff up. A mad German scientist, a foul-mouthed American, a drunk Soviet, and a warrior Japanese soldier, all working together?
The third radio is going to be directly in the middle of the Shangri-La spawn room. It's going to be on the top right. If you're looking up the stairs where Pack-a-Punch would usually be, you'll see it sitting on top of this pillar, this broken pillar.
It's been 6 weeks since the rest of the Call of the Dead cast and crew went missing. Hollywood's lost its fucking mind with this story. An entire production vanishes? Crazy talk. I told you, this is why you don't shoot in Siberia. So with agent on line 1, manager on line 2, I needed to sort this quickly. I'd rather zombies come for me than an agent. That's real horror. I don't need that.
For the fourth radio, if you kind of make your way halfway up the stairs in Shangri-La, you'll look outside the map on the left side and you'll see it kind of behind this statue that runs along the sides of the stairs.
So I started with a simple one. Something about 2 guys named Brock and Gary looking for Arthur. They finished like dead. Figured I'd start there. Next thing I know, I'm in this jungle, and it's hot and humid, and the sky goes black. Like dark black. I look up. There's an eclipse, and these things start chasing me. Like zombies. Trust me, I know how it sounds. I've been fighting them so long now. I should be dead. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have died. But it just keeps going.
Radio number 5 is going to be exactly next to radio number 4. It's just going to be a little bit more to the right and a little bit more past that, kind of in the shrubbery and in the bushes next to this statue.
I've started setting up these traps. Pretty damn proud of them, if I do say so myself. Wait, I hear something.
Can't help but think they hold some kind of key clues. We should investigate the stepped pyramid for some clues. I think we should get the hell out of here while we still have the chance. But we're so close to proving the existence of...
Ugh, finally. Sorry, the only thing more annoying than the undead are those 2 guys, whoever they are. Anyway, I've been trying to get some bars on myself for days, and I'm having no luck. I swear, if I die a few more times, I may actually lose it. At least then I'll have those agents off my back.
Radio number 6 is going to be located inside of Mob of the Dead. If you come up to where the medical table is on the countertop directly behind the person laying there, it's going to be found on the corner.
So I just sat down with Stanley Ferguson, night guard at Alcatraz. He told me a heck of a tale. A few years back, 4 inmates, 3 mobsters, and some weasel had this brilliant plan to escape the rock. I know they sound like real geniuses, these guys. Anyway, this weasel was quite the talker. He had these guys convinced they could escape. He told them he could build a plane and that together they'd all fly right off the rock.
Still inside of Mob of the Dead, if you make your way to in front of the corruption engine underneath the catwalk and underneath this bed leading into the cafeteria entrance, you'll see it right there.
Now the Weasel had plans and drawings and everything. I saw them.
We still not talking about this, Richtofen?
No way that baby would ever
Got it.
fly.
Won't say a word.
These mobsters, it's lost on me. They were smart guys. I mean, Sal DeLuca? No way you can convince a man of his caliber something so absurd. So I guess at some point the whole sorry truth came out and the Weasel found himself cornered. They did him good. Left him bleeding to death on the cold stone roof. They all got the chair for it, and that was that. Sad to think that 3 guys like that could find themselves swinging, all because they bought into the lies of a delusional conman.
The 8th radio is going to be found inside of the cafeteria of Mob of the Dead. Just before entering the landing pad on the right side, you're going to see it sitting on top of this shelf.
Anyway, no clue why Mr. Rapp wanted me to meet this Stanley first, but I'm headed to the city now. Something about tracking down 3 doozies and a floozy. Oh yeah, not to mention those artifacts in the South Pacific and Russia. I don't know what that's about. I never even met this guy. Likes to stay to the shadows. Real weirdo. But the money's good.
Red line departing for the waterfront district.
Maybe it'll all make sense when I get there.
Radio number 9 is going to be found inside the projection room inside of Kino, and if you lay down on the floor in the corner right here, you'll see it underneath this shelf.
Our revels are now ended. These are actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the basis fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself. Yea, all which it inherit shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made of, and our little lives are rounded with a sleep.
The 10th radio is found inside of Eisendrache, and if you're looking at the corruption engine on the right side wall, it's going to be sitting on top of this rubble pushed up against the wall.
This is Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara. I am transmitting on a secure channel in the most dire of circumstances. The Pentagon is under attack from an unknown enemy. As of this moment, I am safely ensconced inside a janitor's closet. Unfortunately, I fear the President and the VIPs may not have found similar safe haven. From what I have observed, our attackers may be blighted by some kind of sickness. Either that or they're just dirty hippies under the influence of hallucinogenic substances. I can only hope that this message will bring rescue. Until then, please, pray for me.
The 11th radio is going to be located inside of Verrucht on the bottom floor. It'll be sitting directly on top of these lockers in the middle.
I hope you're receiving this transmission, Peter. If you are not, then all hope is lost. You must know by now that we failed to contain the asylum, that we had to move the experiment here. Location. The numbers will guide you. The giant must remain. At all costs. Repeat, der Ries must. At all costs. The DG2 experiments continue. You'll be our only advantage now. Find Dr. Richtofen and Dr. Maxis. They may know what's going on. The use of element 115 is dangerous at best. I'm not sure if we can continue here. We've lost most of our best. I hope you get this. hope it hasn't happened there too, but I'm almost out of hope.
606.96.
Radio number 12 is going to be sitting on top of one of these two green tubes on the top floor of Verrucht. It'll be next to the KN-44 wallby.
Field report. A quiet retort. The mission has all gone south. It's Johnny here. Smokey is near, most likely with meat in his mouth. We've been here for ages. I ran out of pages, but now have a mic to record. The mission has failed. McCain must have bailed, and now we must fight off the horde. We came to Farouk with low ammo and luck, and now Smokey's lost his head. We went down the halls, they bit Smokey's balls, and now he walks with the dead. They call me Banana, I worked at a cabana. I rhyme to keep myself sane. Though Smokey is dead, I'm holding his head, which right now is eating my brain.
For the 13th and final radio, it's going to be located in the courtyard outside the map, sitting in front of this tree. It's also in Verrucht.
Midway, this way of life we're bound upon. I woke to find myself in a dark wood, where the right road was wholly lost and gone. Me, how hard to speak of it. That rude and rough and stubborn forest. The mere breath of memory stirs the old fear in the blood. But when, at last, I stood beneath the steep hillside, which closed that valley's wandering maze, whose dread had pierced me to the heart-root deep, then I looked up and saw the morning rays, mantle its shoulder from that planet bright, which guides men's feet aright on all their ways.
Now, moving over to the wisps of the map, both the Shadow Man and Dr. Monty have wisps on this map, but they work very, very different from how Gorod Krovi's worked. There are 4 different locations for where each of these wisps can be located, but you can interact with them in any order. It's not like you have to go to this one first or this one first. You can do them in any order. It just, when you interact with one, the message is always going to be the same. So you can interact with one in one game and you'll hear the first message. Then you can go to a different one in a different game and it's still going to be the first message. It goes in order no matter what. The wisps are not going to be spawned in until certain events in the map have already happened. And because both Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man share the same locations for wisps, I'm going to show you on screen as you're listening to them exactly what was going on and how I got it to be either Dr. Monty or be the Shadow Man. Before I do show you the locations, just real quick, go ahead and turn on all the corruption engines and get Pack-a-Punch unlocked. You don't actually have to do this, but it is going to make it a lot easier to move between the wisps since they are super far spread out. And once again, if you don't know how to do the corruption engines or get Pack-a-Punch unlocked, I do have a guide linked down in the description from my channel. Each of these wisps is going to be in a group of 5. So the first group of 5 is going to start after your first special zombie round. The second group of 5 for Dr. Monty is going to be after the second special zombie round, and then the third group of 5 is going to be after the first Panzer Soldat round. For the Shadow Man, the first group of 5 is going to be after the first Margwa round, and the second group of 5 is going to be after the third special zombie round. To know that your 4 locations are actually spawned in for each one of the characters, you'll know whether or not it's Dr. Monty or the Shadow Man, because as soon as you finish those rounds that I just listed out a second ago, a quote is automatically going to play from one of the 2. And if it's from Dr. Monty, it'll be his wisps that you need to go find. If it's from the Shadow Man, it'll be his wisps that you need to go find. So on and so forth. I know this has been a long explanation, but anyway, here are the locations for the wisps. These are all going to be found inside of lanterns, and the first lantern is going to be found inside a spawn next to the truck where Pack-a-Punch gets taken away. The second one is going to be next to to generator 3 inside of Origins. It'll be sitting on top of this box. The third one can be found inside of a Rook. It'll be on the first floor, sitting on top of this shelf next to the zombie spawn. And the fourth one is going to be found inside of Eisendrache, kind of near the pyramid. If you're looking at the corruption engine, follow the left side wall and you'll see it sitting on top of this table. What I recommend doing is as soon as that next round starts and you hear Dr. Monty or the Shadow Man talking to you, I would save a zombie on that round and then go look for each of the wisps. You don't have to, because usually when Dr. Monty speaks to you, you can't really hear the zombies, but for some reason when the Shadow Man talks to you, you can still hear the zombies. So it's up to you how you want to do it. But without further ado, here are all of the wisps from both of them. And again, I will have it pasted on screen exactly how I got each wisp to play.
Okay, fellas. If you've been paying attention, or even if you haven't, it should be abundantly clear that things are seriously out of whack. Business as usual, I suppose. Anyway, I'm having a bit of a heated debate with the old Shadow Man and his Apothecon pals, and it's making it really hard to keep this reality stable. I mean, honestly, look at it. It's practically held together with tape and bits of string. In retrospect, it probably wasn't the best idea to leave the most powerful artifact in this or any other dimension just lying on the fucking table. But in all fairness, Maxis was a bit of a wild card. I mean, you remember he was actually just a little drone the last time you saw him. Anyway, he's in the summoning key now. Buggered if I know how we're going to get him out. Something else I should probably clarify. This is it. The ether. The infinite. Otherwise known as Agartha. Or is it Agartha? Well, whatever way you slice it or spell it, it's the reality beyond. Beyond the world you know. Beyond your perception. Just so we're clear, I'm absolutely not talking about death. That's a whole other can of worms. Speaking of which, you know how people say when you cut a worm in half, both parts keep on living? Well, they do. Kind of, for a bit. But then one of them dies, not sure if it's the arse or the head. Well, that's the problem with worms. They're a bit short on distinguishing features. What was the point I was making? In the beginning, and believe me, there was a beginning, everything was in its proper place. Time was linear, just as it should be. But a little thing called Element 115 changed all that. Especially when, what was it again? Yes, when Group 935 came along. Once they started messing around with it, they buggered everything up. 115 shouldn't even exist in your dimension. But nonetheless, here we are. Bloody teleporters. Once Element 115 came along, the Apothecons weren't far behind. Have I mentioned them yet? The Apothecons are beings that feed on energy. Wait, that's an oversimplification. Energy is a rather broad term. I mean, it may be better to explain it as the spark of life. The purest form of energy that ever existed. Is that better? I'm not sure. Sounded a bit hippity-dippity new agey when I said it out loud. Anyway, this energy, the Apothecons, feed on it. They conquer and consume dimensions. It's kind of their thing. The ball-crushingly bad news is that their appetite is ferocious, voracious, insatiable even. They're hungry. Very hungry. Bottom line, if you don't sort shit out, they're going to gobble up this universe just like they gobbled up so many others.
I have been watching. I have seen each and every one of your misdeeds. I know who you are. But questions remain. Why do you do the things you do? What is it that you hope to achieve? Do you not see the futility of your tiny, insignificant existence? You are but fragments of a bigger universe. Your sins serve only as an invitation to an evil beyond your imagination. I will lead the way. I will show you the path. Only through me, the Shadow Man, will you find your redemption. You do realize that he's manipulated you. That's what he does. Dr. Monty is just one of the many names he's been known by. The Great Dragon, the Beast. Is this ringing any bells? Beelzebub, Lucifer, Satan, the Devil. He's not even a real doctor. I would know. I know what you did, Richtofen. I know you found the Chronorium. You have suffered long enough. Why do you not embrace the cool warmth of the Apothicons? All your pain, all your suffering could be at an end. That is what you want, isn't it? Do you not see the power Dr. Monty holds over you? Do you not see you are being deceived? I can help you! Only through me can you find salvation!
So, as if things weren't bad enough, I'm struggling to maintain my presence. Bloody Shadow Man. At least he's in the same boat. How are things going besides all that? Making any progress? Bollocks. I'm phasing out again. Now here's the thing. I knew a bloke, and I'm talking way, way, way back. He was the sweetest, most charming individual you could ever wish to meet. He was funny too. We used to have such a good old laugh together. Honestly, my sides hurt thinking about it. He was my friend. He was my best friend. And then the Apothicons got hold of him. Since then, he's pretty much acted as their agent, zipping around the galaxy. Wait, I keep changing it, don't I? Which do you prefer, universe, multiverse, omni-fucking-verse? Oh, it doesn't really fucking matter, does it? Yeah, let's get on with it. Short version is, he's no longer sweet, charming, or funny. He's what brought them here, when he escaped the key. The Keepers, an ancient order who'd been granted the wisdom to see beyond the limitations of their own realm. Even while the rest of mankind scrabbled around in the dirt, drinking their own piss, the Keepers took the mantle of benevolent watchers, like the seers and sages of the old world. They could foresee how the actions of the Apothicons would lead to the destruction of life itself. The Keepers have always been here, much like your good selves. They too were scattered and fragmented across the multiverse. They may have acted erratically, but know this. Their actions were only ever concerned with the preservation of life itself. Remember what I said before about energy. The minute you people teleported for the first time, you changed the rules. How am I supposed to keep track if you keep moving the pieces? Even when you were just a little problem, brewing in the far corner of existence, I tried to throw you a bone or two. I told you this, didn't I? The magic box of weapons, the little clues here and there. I always try to give you a little help, without drawing too much attention to myself. The thing is, though, I can't just magic things out of thin air. I have to manipulate things that already exist in your reality. Like the perk drinks. They were something originally cooked up by Group 935. I just used them for my own ends. I honestly don't even know how they work. I swear. As for the songs, don't get me started. I know the Shadow Man's probably talking to you. Don't trust him. He's evil. I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. I bet he's saying all sorts of terrible things, spreading all kinds of rumors about me. By the way, I spell rumors with a U, after the O before the R. That's a nice little Easter egg. In fact, it's everything. Honestly, if you could see just what was going on outside your realm of perception, it would blow your minds. That's the main reason I kept it back. If I were to give you an analogy, I'd describe it like this. When a duck swims on the water, you only see it glide, apparently effortlessly across the lake. But underneath, as in beneath the surface, it's a whole different story. Its legs are moving like he's pedaling a fucking bicycle up a mountain. Well, that's me right now. I am that duck. It's too much information sometimes, know what I mean? I know you must be struggling to take it all in, but can you imagine how I feel? I've got heartfelt prayers to the angels, dying people's wish lists and letters to fucking Santa coming out of my bleeding ears. And it's hard to keep up, honestly. I hardly ever get any time for myself, or even just time to stand back and appreciate all the good that I've done. And now, I've got the bloody Shadow Man and the apothecocky cons throwing an intergalactic spanner in the works. Here's something I just noticed. All of you died pretty much as you lived. Dempsey bravely followed orders. Takeo accepted his fate with honor. Nikolai battled with his own demons. It's funny, isn't it? Richtofen's the only one that really didn't see it coming. I'm quite pleased with that. I made an app once. At least I think that's what you call it. It started off really simple. All people did was press a button to indicate whether or not they'd had a good day. I tracked the data for everyone in the world. I mean, it was meant to help me understand people. It worked. But even in its simplest form, it was too much to take in. It actually made me depressed. It's hard trying to please everyone. Oh, I'm getting worked up, honestly. You have no idea how hard it's been from my side. Sorry. Keep up the good work. I'm sure you'll sort it out. If I'm honest, I'm a bit scared. Seriously. Brown trousers time. I mean, I know it's the same old story. The forces of good and evil battling it out. Yeah, but no one ever tells you how much hard work it fucking is. You know, I'm not all powerful. It's always been a struggle to stay on top of it. Now more than ever. If it had been entirely up to me, it would have been a lot more straightforward, I tell you. Do what you can, eh?
Has he told you what happens to you? What happens should you win the war? I'll tell you. I'm the only one that will be honest with you. You, all of you, will simply cease to exist. Despite everything you've done, everything you fought so hard for, you will simply fade away. You know you really should give up. Let yourself give in. Your spirit will be absorbed into the beautiful blue light of the Apothecon's sun. You know you died a long time ago, don't you? You saw it. Didn't you realize? Are you really so foolish as to believe his lies? You do know that Richtofen is a friend of mine. I say friend, but really he's so much more than that. At one point, I almost considered him my apprentice. I mean, he did stab my reporter friend and steal the summoning key. But at one point, he did everything I told him to. I keep hoping he'll remember the promise he made to me so long ago. You simple-minded fools! Do you really believe you have a chance? This universe belongs to the Apothecons. You will be consumed. I offered you the chance to enter the beautiful blue light, and you denied my mercy! You have followed a path marked by lies and deceit. Many others have failed. Why would you be any different? This has always only ended one way. I have foreseen it.
Dr. Monty also has character-specific wisps, so at any point after you've done your first set of 5 wisps, you can go into Noctur and Toten, and there's going to be 4 different locations for where you can find a wisp, and each location is specific to the character that you're playing as. For Dempsey, his wisp is going to be sitting directly in front of the portal going into Eisendrache. It'll be on top of the rubble right here. Nikolai's wisp is going to be upstairs sitting on this rubble in front of the death ray used to trap the giant Apothecon. For Takeo, his wisp is going to be located inside the same room where you build the shield. It'll be sitting on top of this rubble in the corner. And finally, for Richtofen, it's literally going to be located on the first floor directly below Takeo's wisp. It'll be sitting on top of this box inside the mystery box room. Each character has about 8 to 9 different wisps, and the first wisp for all of them is going to be the exact same. And the first half of the second wisp is going to be the exact same for every single character. But the second half of the second wisp is going to be different for every character, and then every wisp after is going to be different for every character. For these to play, you just interact with them like normal, but in between each one, you have to flip around basically, and you'll know that you're done when you flip around and the wisp doesn't come back. Each time the wisp does respawn, it's just going to respawn in the exact same spot, and so that way we're clear, here is the first wisp for all of the characters right now.
Okay, I think I've found a way to talk to you. Given all the shit hitting the fan, there's not much I can do other than give you a bit of encouragement. How about I give you some facts? Little ones, quick ones, fun ones. It'll be good for morale.
For the second wisp, the first half of the message, I'm just going to leave in for every single character because it makes it easier to listen to and it's one fluid radio. So with all that out of the way, then let's just listen to the rest of them.
Right, here we go. It's a bit like the news, this. I mean reading it on television. Sorry, I'm rambling. You should see what the Shadow Man's doing back here. Okay? Apparently, Richtofen has a problem with nuts. Make of that what you will. At the orphanage, Edward told everyone his dad was a famous scientist. They scrawled, "Teddy is a liar," on the schoolyard wall. Edward doesn't like spicy food. His brain gets distracted. Bad things happen. Richthoven's favorite song is My Way. He wonders when he will get to sing it. Edward Richtofen has trouble sleeping without a teddy bear. A problem that didn't present itself until he was an adult. Richtofen has a desperate need to feel appreciated. His ego is actually very fragile. Right, here we go. It's a bit like, the news, this. I mean, reading it on television. Sorry, I'm rambling. You should see what the Shadow Man's doing back here. Okay? Tank Dempsey once bet $50 that he could eat 50 hard-boiled eggs in 15 minutes. It's rumored that Tank Dempsey's real name is Thomas. Nah, not true. It's Ringo. Only joking. Or am I? Tank Dempsey holds the all-time record for one-arm push-ups, even in the universe where everyone only had one. On over 18 million occasions, Dempsey gave his life for the sake of his team. He's a bona fide American hero. Tank Dempsey once caught his testicles in the springs of a bed frame, and he lived to tell the tale. So remember, kids, keep your mattresses tight. Dempsey can throw a grenade farther than the greatest professional baseball players. He attributes this skill to his solitary arm training regime. The only time Tank Dempsey ever feared for his life was 15 minutes after taking an ill-advised bet. Right, here we go. It's a bit like, the news, this. I mean, reading it on television. Sorry, I'm rambling. You should see what the Shadow Man's doing back here. Okay? Nikolai once bottle-fed vodka to a bear cub. They both regretted it, before and after. Nikolai Belinsky's grasp of the pros and cons of capitalist and communist economies is tenuous at best. Nikolai loved his wife. He was never the same after she died. Nikolai once had a brother. I don't know why he forgot him. Frankie. For many years, I tried watering down Nikolai's vodka. He just drank more. Nikolai's breath is legendary, even though no one has ever actually smelled it. At one point, or some point, Nikolai used to be a writer. He kept journals of his many travels in Europe. Much of it grossly exaggerated, of course. Right, here we go. It's a bit like, the news, this. I mean, reading it on television. Sorry, I'm rambling. You should see what the Shadow Man's doing back here. Okay? Takeo has never once tasted American chocolate. I made sure I spared him that particular brand of suffering. The extent of Takeo's suffering at the hands of Division 9 is far, far worse than you can imagine. Takeo has a secret hobby. He does not speak of it for fear that he will be mocked. Takeo is actually pronounced Takeo, or is it Takeo? Takeo. It's one of life's biggest mysteries. Takeo knows that somewhere, sometime, he wasn't betrayed. He was honored. Throw a grape in the air. Takeo Masaki can slice it clean in half, even without a katana.
The Shadow Man also does have character-specific quotes for when the characters go down, and it's only one quote per character, but it also is possibly not gonna exactly play the first time you go down. It could play after the second time or even after the third time.
Takeo. You let them walk all over you, didn't you? You just let things happen, believing that you would receive some spiritual reward. Haunted by visions and voices, you clung to the most simple of motives. You had purpose. But then he took it all away. Dr. Monty.
My organs are...
Tank Dempsey. Do you even have a first name? You know so little about yourself. You used to talk to imaginary forces all the time. Forces you thought controlled your destiny. Or have you forgotten that? Of course you have. It's all Monty's fault. Oh, Nikolai. Are you proud to be Russian? I have to be honest. Most of the time, you seemed very, very depressed. You barely even laugh at your own jokes.
Russian snipers are best in all of Russia.
It's good stuff. You do realize why you are unhappy, don't you? It's all Monty's fault. Oh, Edward, my dear, dear Edward. He doesn't understand you. I do. Only through me, the Shadow Man, can you find your salvation.
We're still not done with Revelations because there is one more thing involving the Easter egg. There are 3 audio reels, and each of these audio reels can only be found and played as you complete steps throughout the Easter egg. If you don't know how to do the Easter egg, I do have a guide that I will leave linked down in the description from my channel. This first audio reel can only be found after completing step 2 of the Easter egg, which is the Keeper step or the Keeper ritual step. This audio reel does not have a set spawn location because it's entirely dependent on where you need to take your Keeper to do the ritual. So just know that wherever you bring it, as soon as the Keeper's done with the ritual, the audio reel is going to drop directly at its feet. When you grab that audio reel, bring it over to Noctur and Toten, and right here is going to be a radio for you to place the reel on, and then you will be able to hear it.
After many weeks of failure and frustration, Dr. Maxis finally achieves the breakthrough he had been searching for. The results were immediate and startling. In the case of Subject 2-6, his instances of violent outburst were non-existent. His docility appeared permanent. Unfortunately, while we prepared to implement the treatment on the other subjects, there was an incident. During his field test this morning, Subject 2-6 attacked a handler. 2-6 and the handler were both destroyed. Maxis believes Subject 2-6 only attacked the handler. He does not know I was attacked as well. I have observed a developing pattern of high fevers and cold sweats. My thoughts are erratic. My relationship with Ludwig is complicated. I fear I cannot keep this secret from him for long.
The second audio reel is going to be found after completing step 3, which is the giant Apothecon little Arnie's step, where you have to throw the little Arnie's down the holes. As soon as you finish that step, you can then find the reel on top of the bridge right here. If you kind of come up from Pack-a-Punch on the right side and round this corner to right here, you'll find it. When you have picked that one up, bring it over to Kino, and on the stage, on the right side of the stage, you'll find the radio here. You can go ahead and place the reel and then hear the radio.
The break in programming coincided with the flashing lights and loud noises of the fire alarm in the test facility. One moment. What is it? Sophia, yes. Do come in. Sit down, my dear. Have some tea.
Is everything all right?
No. Everything's fine. Drink your tea. I heard a nefarious rumor earlier regarding the field test with Subject 2-6. Are you feeling all right?
Of course.
Just strange, this rumor. May I see your arm?
What? No. Why do you need to see my arm?
Relax, Sophia. I would never hurt you. You know that, right?
Of course, but...
you know I care deeply for you.
Yes, but...
But you know everything I'm about to do is for your own good.
For this final audio reel, it will be found after completing step 4, which is going to be the bones step with the apothecan's servant. Once you do complete that step, the radio or the reel is going to drop down in the center of Noct on the top floor right here. Pick up that reel and bring it over to Origins, and on top of the mound sitting on this table, you'll find the next radio to place that reel on.
This is Dr. Ludwig Maxis, beginning preliminary trials for the Strategic Operations Planning Heuristic Intelligence Analyzer.
What's happening? Ludwig? Dr. Maxis?
Hello, Sophia.
It's so dark here. I can't see anything.
That's all perfectly normal. How are you feeling?
I feel nothing. What have you done to me?
I saved you, Sophia. I saved you the only way I knew how.
Oh, Maxis. What have you done?
So we're finally done with Revelations, and now we're on to the Chronicles maps. Each of the Chronicles maps only has one additional radio from Dr. Monty, and all of them are either going to be found either in the spawn room or like right next to the spawn room, just one door away. Instead of going through each one individually, I'm just going to show you all the locations in map order from Noctur and Toten to Origins, and then I will go through and let you listen to all of them in order without there being cuts, if that makes sense. Starting out with Noctur and Toten, that radio is going to be directly behind you when you spawn in, sitting on the floor right here. For Verrucht, the radio is going to be in the spawn room on the side of Jug. If you come into this little room underneath the desk, it's going to be sitting on the floor right here. For Shinonuma, the radio is going to also be sitting on the floor at the back side of spawn near the Shiva Wallby. It'll be on the left side of the zombie spawn. In Keynoter Toten, the radio is going to be outside of spawn. If you come up the stairs and leave through that door on the right side, if you just keep following it on the left side wall, you'll come into this little room next to the Pharaoh or behind the Pharaoh. It'll be sitting in the corner. Ascension's radio is going to be on the first floor of spawn next to the centrifuge. It'll be sitting on the floor next to this debris right here. Shangri-La's radio is also going to be in spawn. This one will be on the right side of Quick Revive, like behind it, tucked away in this corner, sitting on the brick. Moon's radio is going to be in the quote-unquote spawn where Quick Revive is. If you try to leave out the right side door towards tunnel 11, it's going to be sitting on the floor right here just before the door. And finally, the Origins radio is going to be near generator 1. It'll be sitting on top of this crate. And just like that, we're on to listening to all the Chronicles radios.
That translates as Night of the Dead. I learned that tonight. Been trying to scrub up on my German, you see. Anyway, it happened in an old concrete building on an airfield somewhere in I don't know where. I remember it being really small, simple by today's standards. I think there was a fog. Not a lot of it, certainly not coming into the building itself. You know what I just realized? You weren't even there. At least not at first. It was some other random, forgettable soldiers that had the misfortune to live through that horrible night, or Nacht, as it was actually known. Yeah, I speak German now. Electroshock therapy, chemically engineered beverages, hordes of undead Nazis. Find the power to unite and send them back to their graves. Can you believe that's how I actually described it back then? It was an asylum. It was also a horrible, terrible, grim, depressing place. I'd give you a full explanation of everything that happened there, but it would only be horrible, terrible, grim, depressing. Oh, fuck. You weren't there either. But then you were. Shinonuma. Did I say that right? I've not really put the effort into learning Japanese. In
some ways, that's where it really started for you guys. It's also where Fluffy returned, right? Well, when I say returned, I'm referring more to her offspring, her little pups. They grew big, didn't they? More importantly, they started showing signs of food aggression. Whoa, that's never good. Gotta say, I still prefer an angry dog to any kind of cat. I know it's wrong to generalize, but frankly, all cats are evil little shits. Kino der Toten, Theater of the Dead. I don't know why it wasn't Untoten, but I suppose the whole living dead thing is something of an oxymoron. I like that word. Oxymoron. Been very useful when trying to identify all the contradictory chaos I've had to untangle. Anyway, Group 935 were back to their old tricks. Been in an old cinema. I don't know why. Maybe they wanted to watch some old movies. That was where you first saw the house, wasn't it? Well, part of it anyway. Samantha's room. Remember? You probably don't, but trust me. Have a look. It's there, all right. Ascension, the Russian cosmodrome. I know Nikolai can be a bit down on Soviet technology, but the Ruskies really pulled one out of the bag that time. The Ascension group built a bloody great rocket. It actually worked a treat, too. Do you remember Gersh? Bald guy? He fought alongside you for a while. I think Richtofen was off somewhere at the time. Anyway, Gersh ran into a little bit of dimensional distortion. Honestly, why do you insist in meddling with stuff you don't understand? Of course, all their experiments just stirred the reality soup even more. You ended up fighting monkeys. Space monkeys at that. As I'm sure you know, monkeys are thieving little bastards. Give them half a chance and they'll nick anything that isn't nailed down. So, in answer to a question Richtofen once asked, I don't love a monkey. Shangri-La, the city of gold. No, hang on. I got that wrong. The city of gold was somewhere else. Well, it would have been if it actually existed. Anyway, a lot of explorers went looking for it, believing that it might reveal the gateway to Agartha. Gasp! Two such misguided fools, Brock and Gary, they got themselves locked into a temporal loop, doomed to relive the same events over and over again. Poor souls. You know, that kind of thing happens more often than you realize. So, other than all that, Richtofen was looking for the golden rod, or some such thing. Can't say I know quite why. But that's Richtofen for you. Moon. It's gone now. Well, recently it has, but don't worry. I will make/have made a new one. But at this point in space and time, things were going to reach something of a crescendo. Richtofen. Crazy Richtofen. Evil Richtofen. Remember him? Fucking idiot blew up the Earth. It didn't really all go to plan, though, did it? If he even ever had a plan. He ended up trying to enlist the help of some other idiots left in the apocalyptic wasteland. Where to start with this one? You guys got a mulligan after Richtofen blew up the Earth. Samantha was confused. She was still settling into her new home. Actually, she was locked away, outside of reality itself. You freeing her was a big step in the right direction. Here's the thing. You have to remember, the order in which you experience things doesn't necessarily reflect the order in which they happen. Whatever way you look at it, though, it really was the beginning of the end. Or the end of the beginning.
that is going to about do it for this video. So if you guys did enjoy the video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd leave a comment down in the comment section, because I do like seeing from you guys and knowing what you guys are thinking and if I'm just a complete dumbass or not. So I do want to see from you guys. There's not really a whole lot else to talk about. The next video will probably end up being part 5, which is going to be Black Ops 4 Zombies. And from there, I just hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll catch you on the flip side.